Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning back in. And if you are new here, hi, welcome to my channel. I hope you stick around for more luxury related content. Please excuse my voice. As you can see, I am down with a bit of a flu. I am much better today, so I really wanted to come out here and do this video that I have lined up for probably the longest time, but I just couldn't get around to doing it. So I thought I'd just put in some effort today and, stick down to filming it. As you can see from the title, yes, it is a comparison between the Louis Vuitton Zippy coin purse, and we've got our Chanel card holder. So I will be doing a review on both of these. Not an individual review, but more like a comparison review as to the aesthetics, what fits, which one is my personal favorite, and of course, which one I recommend. I will be definitely recommending the one I prefer and I pick, and I will of course let you know why I pick one over the other. So let's get started, and I will first of course go over the dimensions of each one of these, and at the same time I will also disclose to you some of the prices as to which one is costing how much, right? So let's get started. I will of course start with the Louis Vuitton one, and this one in size is around 11 centimeters in depth. It is around 8.5 centimeters in its height, and of course it's got 2 centimeters of width, right? This is of course monogram coated canvas. It is in the damier ebene print, and it's got a leather lining. As we know, the inside is this beautiful chocolate brown color. I do not have the one with the Louis Vuitton monogram on it. I believe that one is more of a light brown interior, if I'm not mistaken. And then of course you've got your gold color hardware, which I absolutely love. I love this chunky hardware. Zip closure, as we can see, and it's got 2 large gusseted compartments, right? So the gusseted compartments are the ones that I absolutely love. I feel they offer a lot of space and a lot of room for you to stick whatever you want to inside, whether it comes to bigger notes, whether it comes to more cards. I have at times put receipts in here as well, and there are 2 inside back pockets, which are flat. So you've got one over here and you've got one over here as well. And you also have a business card slot, so which is right here, as you can see. I am constantly looking down on my phone just to read. I don't want to miss out on anything. And of course, yes, you've got 4 card slots. So there's 1, and there's 2, and then there's 3, and then there's 4, right? So you've got 4 card slots. My piece is made in France, which I feel now it's become a little irrelevant. It really doesn't matter where it's made. But this guy is really hardy. I love this. I've had this literally, I think, since the time of COVID. That's when I ordered it. Prices, of course, were far less at that time. But yeah, I absolutely love this. And this, I feel now retails for, if I'm not mistaken, yes, for almost around 800 Singapore dollars, which is quite a bit, right? The price used to be far lower on this when I got it. I think it was around 500 if I'm not mistaken. So it's really made a big jump since the time I've, bought this. Right, now let's move on to the Chanel one, right? The Chanel card holder. And the Chanel card holder is 11 centimeters in length, or width, as you might want to call it, and 7.5 centimeters in its height, right? They don't describe the width online, but I believe this should be more than the Louis Vuitton one. So I think I'm going to make it around probably 4 centimeters because it is definitely a far more thicker, as you can see. They're almost the same height, but I feel that because the Chanel one is slightly wider, so it kind of then fills up for that gap for the height, right? And with the Chanel one, we all know there is, of course, you've got that back pocket, which is really good if in case you are living in a place where you need like a lift card or something in order to access your building. It really helps. So I've used that in places where I have had to do that, and it really helps. The inside, of course, of the Chanel one, we've got 3 compartments. And all three compartments are the same size. There is absolutely no variation. Like for example, in the Louis Vuitton one, if you can manage to see, because I know it's a dark interior, but these compartments are slightly lower, like your card slots as well are lower, and then the flat pockets at the back, they tend to be slightly higher, right? So I don't understand what the reason for that is, but I think it's probably like to just divide your items very nicely, and then for you to be able to open and see exactly what is where, right? So I like this layout far better than this layout, which is just like a flat, all three compartments and all the same size. So those are the basic aesthetics of each of these card holders, small wallets, whatever you want to call it. Now, if you've been watching my channel for some time, I have emphasized on it again and again that I tend to not put too many items in one of these smaller, wallets or compact wallets. I will always carry, for example, if I've got this and this one has like, my main credit card, a little bit of cash or anything, then I will of course put some of my smaller cards or like my receipts, my bills in this one, right? Or if I am, for example, carrying a card holder, then I tend not to put cash or like note bills in this middle compartment, which I know a lot of people do. I will just put like my main credit card here, my IDs here, and then I will use one of these like smaller wallets and I will put my notes, like my bills in this, and I will put like my other gift cards, like Toys R Us or, like pharmacies, like all that kind of stuff, all those other nice cards in here. The sunlight is coming in nice and bright through the window, so I think it's, you guys can see it nice and clear now. Not that it wasn't clear before, but I think it's nice and bright now. Right, so moving forward, let's talk about what fits in which. And I've carried these compact, I like to call them compact wallets, by the way. I don't know why they're called a coin purse and a card holder, I don't know. But I like to call them compact wallets. And I have carried these so much, and I've literally like thrown various things in them that I think I now kind of know which one I prefer more over the other. And that's why we're going to first start off with what fits what. So I'm going to start off with the Chanel one. And I will first show you how many cards I have in here. So I'm using these little, you can say these are like, they're not really paper, but more of like these little hard paper or hard, they're not a cardboard, but it's more like a hard paper, which I'd say, which they, usually use with these. You usually get these at Chanel whenever you buy like a card holder or you buy like their wallet on chain. These are inserted in the card slots. And these are around 20 in total, right? So just to show you, I had these stuffed, and usually, like I said, if I am carrying something like this with this, so this will of course house like my credit card, you've got my IDs and everything, and the rest of the cards would be in here. Now those rest of the cards are probably around 15 or 20 for me in total, right? I've got lots of extra cards. And I usually, like I said, if this is for the main cards, then this one is for all my extra cards. And that's why I want to demonstrate that around 20 cards can fit in here. So the back pocket fits them nice and easy. You can, of course, put 20 more in there, and you can put like 5 more in there. And this would close up really, really nicely, right? What I love about this one is that the back pockets, because you've got that little stretch at the corners, it opens up far more than the middle one. Let me show you. So for now, I'm going to try and shift these in the middle. You see, they won't even really fit. I'll have to really snug it in. And because right now, like this is like paper, like hard paper, it's still like a little flexible, and I can still close it and it can still pop in there. But if I'm using like a hard card, it really won't fit in there. So I usually would then put my hard cards, which of course they are hard. I'm just using these for the purpose of demonstration. But these hard cards, all the proper cards would fit in there. So, and then you could close that up nicely. Now, my only issue with this one is that I can't fit my notes in here. So let me show you. I've got a $50 note here, and I've also got some $2 notes here, right? So if I'm supposed to take a $50 note and I tuck it in here, you see it's going to stick. And I don't appreciate that. I have spoken about this before, but I don't really like folding my notes. I don't like to fold my bills when I put them inside my wallet. I like them to stand straight. Like, for example, you see, even if I take like a Chanel card holder and I do this, you see how nicely that tucks in. I love this about Chanel card holders. They are really, like, they have a good length, they have a good height to them. So that height really helps you to put the, the bigger notes without them having to get crumpled or you having to fold them. And it looks really neat inside a bag as well, right? That is something I cannot do here, and I do not want to fold my notes. So you see how that sticks out? And yes, you might say you could put that at the back. I don't think that's the safest, and it's not really like easy to access, right? So that is something I don't appreciate it. If yes, I've got smaller notes, which I do right here, those can fit in like a glove, right? So no problem there at all. You could just put them in here and it's easy to close as well. But because I've got a variation of notes, I tend not to do that. All my notes need to be in the same like place. So I usually don't use this particular compact wallet or card holder when it comes to notes. Yes, I will put in some coins here, which again, I tend to put my coins in a separate little pouch. I don't want to get them all rusty when it comes to my more expensive, card holders or compact wallets. I tend to just use a little leather pouch and then I'll put all my coins in there, right? So this is like the Chanel, card holder, compact wallet, as you can say. Of course, you can use the back pocket, which is, like I said, I've used this before when you have to access in and out of a place where a card is required. It's very easy because you can just tap on the back of your card and it's as simple as that, right? So, like I said, not the friendliest in my opinion, unless you want to have you have 20, 30 cards, right? Which you just want a place for your cards. I don't think it's that versatile. Yes, you could put coins, you could put cards, but can you put cash? I don't think so. So for that reason, whenever I use this one, which honestly I hardly have, probably like just once or twice. Though I did say that I have played around with these a lot, but I've not really used this. I've played around with this so much just to see what I can fit and whatnot. And I personally don't think this one is that versatile. So, but if you love Chanel, if you really want to collect one of these like I wanted to, then of course go ahead. I feel prices now are skyrocketing. This one is close to, I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but this one is also close to like 1,000 Singapore dollars now, which is just insane. I don't think I'd repurchase this at that price. I would definitely get another one of the card holders. I absolutely love the Chanel ones. They're far better than I feel any other house. The quality is amazing. They hold quite a bit, and like I said, because they've got that height to them, you can fit a lot of notes as well. But yeah, so let me now pull out all of these and show you the Louis Vuitton one and how usually I carry this. So the Louis Vuitton one, like I earlier described, has far more slots in it than the Chanel one. Now, again, it really depends on how much you are carrying, because I don't like to overstuff these. So again, if I've got something like this, I will put my extra cards and my cash in this one. But having said that, this one definitely works as a full-size, like, compact wallet, right? It can fit notes, it can fit cards, it can fit bills, it fits everything. I've carried receipts in this. I've carried loose paper, like prescriptions, everything. I've tossed everything in here. Like I earlier said, I'm using these, and these are around 20 of them in total. You could fit these in here very easily, right? Here you go. I'll just show you guys that. So you can fit them in the back compartment. You can, of course, play around with them and put them in the slots as well. You've got so many card slots. I'm just gonna put some in there just to show you guys. Okay, and there you go. So you can play around and you can fit them all over the place. I can also, of course, which like I said, I do if I am carrying a card holder and I want to carry some cash as well. What I will usually do is I will also carry all my notes in here. So let me play around with the cards a bit and just put them in nicely. here you go. So you see I've got my $50 bill, I've got my $2 bills as well, and they're all in there nicely. I can even toss some coins in there. And these are 20 in total. So the most I have with me are 25 cards. I could put 5 more in here very easily. I could put some coins. And of course this will, you know, zip up really nicely. It's not going to be heavy at all because of course it is canvas. It's not leather. My only problem with the Louis Vuitton coin purse though is that because you've got the, you know, the middle compartments, the gussets are far in than, you know, the Chanel one. Like for example, you see this, it closes in far more than this one, right? These are still smaller folds. That one here is far bigger. So what happens is when you put some of your cards in the middle, they will tend to get stuck like this. You see that? The card becomes a little diagonal. So that you need to bear in mind, that you will really need to open it up like this, and then you can stuff all your cards in here nice and clean, right? You see that? So if I stretch it like this, it fits in here really nicely. But if I'm gonna close it down like this, and then I'm gonna try and fit that at the back or over here, it's gonna, you know, it's not gonna be really clean fit. So usually I'll open it up a bit like this, and then I'll just stuff it in right here. But again, it holds far more, in my opinion, than the Chanel one. It's far more versatile. And like I said, you can just put your bills in, and you can also put in some coins, which I don't have with me right now. And like I said, I usually don't put coins into these, and everything fits in really nicely. So, which one do I prefer? I definitely do prefer the Louis Vuitton one because, like I said, it is far more versatile in my opinion. The price is almost the same, to be honest, and if you really want to get one, it really depends on which fashion house you prefer more, because I love both. I got both, and if I had to choose one, it'd definitely be the Louis Vuitton one. I understand the Chanel one is made to be more of a card holder, as they do label it, but I feel with a card holder this big, you should be able to put far more things, right? You know, like I said, the cash sticks here, sticks up here, and that's something I don't appreciate. Like, even if I look at the Bastia, you know, my cash will still fit in here, and though the height is, you know, not that much when it comes, I mean, the difference is not that much, but still, the cash fits in here really nicely, and I don't appreciate how it sticks in here. So for that reason, I really just use this for cards. Which then of course makes me worry, where do I put my, you know, my bills, and I don't do that with my card holders, so I really don't use this one that much. That's what I'm trying to say. If I do need something in my wallet, it has to be like just one for my bills and my main cards, and then the other needs to be for all my extra cards. So whenever I'm carrying this, and like let's suppose I'm carrying this, right? So I'm carrying this for like my main cards, I'm carrying this for my extra cards, I'll have to carry something like this for my bills, and like my note bills. And I don't want to carry 3 things, right? I really don't want to do that. The most I will carry is 2. You know, unless one is like a key pouch or something, then maybe it makes sense for me to, of course, pop in my note bills in here. But if I am using something as big as this, I mean, this one is much better than the Louis Vuitton key clay, right? Then I don't want to have a third piece for my cash. So definitely my pick would be the Louis Vuitton one over the Chanel one. But like I said, if you prefer Chanel as a fashion house more than Louis Vuitton, then go ahead and pick up this one as well. It's also a wonderful piece. I know a lot of people do not carry a lot of note bills with them as well. So that's for you to decide. And that's it for today, you guys. I really wanted to come out here and compare both of these and talk a little bit about them, because I don't feel I see too many of those videos nowadays. There are individual reviews on these, but I really wanted to, you know, have a really concise comparison between between these two, to see if any of you want to pick one out and you're confused about which one, then definitely my pick would be this. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.